Okay, we're going to try to run the FIRMAN unit number 2 to 3242. Got to connect up the plastic propane unit to the propane tank here. Then you got to connect this up. This has got fitting the balls in here. And I should have not done this with the... There you go. Did it one-handed. This connector here is for the solenoid. Basically clicks the solenoid in here. So you put this in, and I've already opened this up because I did a bad take here, but then you have to make sure there's nothing plugged in. You want to start it on a light load. Turn this to LP. Then you want to flip the switch to run, which is the middle position. Then you want to hit the power restore button here. Hold that for 3 seconds. You heard the click? What that did, it just clicked the 12-volt solenoid in there. Pull the choke to the start position. And then this is for recoil start. I'm not going to do that. And then over here, electric start, hit the start. Once it starts to run, you can turn the choke off. So let's... Okay, that's the first time this has ever started, so for clarity, you have the gas off, connect up this module. This is a regulator that's built in this whole module, and then there's a demand regulator in here, and you got this connected to 12 volts. Now this is an eco mode and a not. This is eco mode here. I'll turn that on. This is the first time this unit started. It's a refurb unit. Now let's just go see what's saying here. Oh, it says 0 hours. The last one I got said 5 hours. And I ran it for an hour. So we got some little fans over here. We're going to go plug one. This is really high tech. I'm going to go connect one in here. I'm sure I'm going to get knocked in the butt. This is 12.5 amps. Now this is an eco mode, so if I turn this off, the engine slows down. Now if I turn this on real quick, it labors for a second and speeds up. If I put this in non-eco mode, it always runs at a higher RPM. So if you're running a construction site, you don't have a change in engine speed involved. So we're going to hook this other one up here. Let's kick them all on. All these heaters on. So that's about 15 amps. They dropped from 125 down to 121. 122. That's about the limit. 120 volts at 25 amps would be 3,000 watts, and that's exactly what this is. So it's holding up pretty good. 60 hertz. If I turn this in eco mode, let me show you something kind of nuts here. So like you're camping, got this in eco mode, maybe just watching TV. Engine slower. I'm going to turn these on real quick. Listen, it kind of goes through a whoop-de-doo. come up to speed. But threw me for a loop on here. That is really not eco mode. This is eco mode. I guess it's an on and an off. So it's running the engine low RPM, so you're not going to burn as much gas with a light load. You got about 125 volts. It bogs just for a second there until it catches up. There's 25 amps. These are two, let me turn this down. These are two circuit breakers. That's the one that you use to goose the solenoid. This is an RV connector, 120 volts. And then these are for the parallel connection. These really are two little connections that are in parallel with the other two 120s. There's a USB right here. Now to shut this off, let's go ahead and see how to shut this off. We call start, stopping the generator. Stopping the generator, you want to make sure you remove the loads. It's either got to be off, and then you go through, turn this to the off position. And you turn the LP to LP. And the reason they say that is because on here, if it's on gas, when you turn it to LP, it turns off the gas valve. So that's what's going on. You make sure you turn this off. Yeah. I had my Wheaties this morning. This sucker's tight. It's an old cylinder. Past its date. And that's it. So that's a refurb one I got from FIRMAN Direct. It's actually a pretty good unit. I was surprised. That's the 30 amp RV connector. That's the regular. This is 20 amp 120 volts. This is a ground. Now this here, this 12 volts, 8.3 volt DC with the kind of the funky looking connector, that is an unregulated, which means at no load it's going to put it probably a fairly high voltage. This is really just used to kind of like trickle charge another battery, car or something. It's not really a regulated voltage in the sense that generally these things are kind of funky. It'll go up fairly high voltage, maybe 15, 16 volts. Maybe 18. It's not really used to run something in the sense like a radio or something. It's designed more of a charging thing, is what my intent, what I read about it. And over here, this is an overload connection. And this output ready here, when it's running in daylight, is not all that bright. It runs, but it's not super bright. The overload on the second unit I did, when I kicked this both on at once, I wasn't filming, this would blink for a second when it was in eco mode, like it kind of bogged for a second. And then this is a low oil position, and then it'll cut the machine off. It's in series with the ignition. So anyways, that's the FIRMAN unit on fuel. So if you got a light load on here, you're going to burn less propane or gas. This only holds 1.8 gallons. So one of these is about equivalent roughly to about, let me just give a swag, probably 4.5 gallons. So and it's not as efficient. So you probably can get at least twice the runtime on a barbecue grill. One of these are 20 they call it a 20-pound jug, but they really hold about, today they fill them to 15. If you have your own and refill it, they might be able to get 17 to 19 like in the old days. But when you buy one of these Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, they're generally only filled to 15. And that's about it.